Yo, what is up everybody? It's JTheGreat here and welcome back to another episode of the Naruto Fandom Opinion Dissection. I am back once again. If you enjoy these videos, please make sure to leave a like and of course hit the sub button if you haven't already to become part of the family. But folks, today we have a fucking doozy of an article by CBR, man. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Shout out to CBR for this one. So as you can tell with the title and the screen that you are currently observing, we have an article called Naruto. Shikamaru's greatest weakness was his sexism.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
By Ryan Bridges. Well, Ryan, let's see your logic for this doozy of an article. Let's see it. Let's begin, folks. Shikamaru's views on women were a blind spot for him during Naruto. These sexist ideas were one of his major flaws and led to his greatest failure. Okay, Ryan. Let's see what this article entails of before I get triggered. Alright, let's continue. Shikamaru Nara was a fan favorite in Naruto. His lazy personality and genius strategic mind made him appealing to many fans. Shikamaru was easily one of the smartest characters in the series and a natural born leader. He was also the only member of the Konoha 12 that was promoted during the Chunin exams. However, Shikamaru certainly had his flaws, and these often came back to bite him. Okay, nothing to be upset over or lose my shit over. This is okay. Let's continue on. Many fans may forget that Shikamaru was a very sexist character when he was first introduced. He often complained about the women around him and disregarded their skills and abilities. Please show me where he disregarded their skills and abilities. Please! Is that why he conceded against Temari? Because he disregarded their skills? Because he disregarded her skills? Please enlighten me, Ryan. Why would he fucking quit during the Chunin exams if he disregarded her skills? Nice. Let's continue. Shikamaru looked down on women in general, including his own teammate and his mother. He even went so far as to explicitly say that he hated women! However, throughout the series, his sexist ideas are not only proven wrong, but also led to some of his biggest failures. Alright, so I'll admit this. Shikamaru should not have stated that he hates women. I agree that is obviously sexist. However, he was only 12 years old, folks. He's a fucking child. And I'll even argue he hates everything at this point. He hates fucking training. He hates himself. He hates everything about anything and everything. He was a fucking nihilist. And he was 12 years old. So, something like this, I just don't see the point of making. What's the point of pointing this out on an anime that is about shinobi fighting villains and opponents and protecting their village? What's the point, man? Ryan? What's the point? Let's continue on, though. Let's continue on. Shikamaru often undervalues the skills of women. He doesn't think much of the women from his village, such as Ino and Sakura. The thought of losing to a woman is embarrassing to him, and he tries to avoid using their help as much as he can. He doesn't consider female ninjas worth much when it comes to combat situations. In a strange form of karmic justice, Shikamaru pays dearly for these bigoted ideas. This 12-year-old is so bigoted. He's such a fucking bigot. There is a running gag during part 1 of Naruto where Shikamaru only fights women, to his immense displeasure. For each of his big one-on-one fights in the series, Shikamaru always faces a woman. During these fights, he is often pushed to his limit. His intelligence allows him to beat the sound ninja, Kin, during the preliminary matches, but he forfeits against Tamara because she forces him to use too much chakra during their fight. Shikamaru is then almost killed by Tayuya during the Sasuke retrieval mission, and he learns the hard way not to underestimate women. I think this person's kind of contradicting themselves by admitting that Shikamaru is intelligent enough to quit or forfeit when he sees he's not going to win. So is that someone who underestimates women? Is it Ryan? So folks, the reason why this is so upsetting, again, is because he's a kid. You even admit this is a running gag. Yet you're trying to portray this picture for no reason at all. There is no relevant reason to do this. That Shikamaru is just this bigot. He's such a bigot. What a fucking bigot. Right, Ryan? And to be fair, Ino and Sakura at the beginning of Naruto were fodder. They had the worst fight in Naruto history. Whether they were female, male, aliens, fucking bugs, whatever. If that was the same fight, I would say those people were fodder. If Naruto and Sasuke fought and had a fight like that, I would say they were fodder. If it was two fucking aliens fighting and they were fighting, I would say they were fodder. It's hard to admire Ino and Sakura part 1. Because they are fodder. Right? Not because they're female, but because they're trash. Kiba's trash. He got fucking shat on literally by Naruto. And that's how he lost his fight. He got shat on his face by Naruto. Literally. He's fodder. And that's not a woman. That's a fucking male. So, this guy's clearly nitpicking. And unfortunately, a lot of these soft soy boy lefts, I don't want to get political, but a lot of these people on this side of the spectrum like to nitpick at these specific things and not get into the nitty gritty of it. Just to nitpick the little things that you're admitting is a fucking gag. It's a fucking joke, dude. It's a fucking joke. There's a lot of fucking jokes in this show. Comedy should be a part of our society. It allows us to alleviate and just release tension on things we should be able to joke about, man. It's a fucking joke. So to say bigot is quite extreme for a fucking 12-year-old. Alright, let's continue on. His opinions about his female comrades are also proven wrong. Ino becomes a vital asset during the 4th Shinobi World War, when she links the minds of the entire army. Sakura quickly advances in skill and becomes one of the world's greatest medical ninjas. Even Tamara accepts Shikamaru's life against Tayuya and defeats her. Shikamaru learns that women can be capable and strong ninjas, many of whom are indeed far stronger than him. Not to nitpick the nitpicker, right? I don't think Shikamaru ever thought that women ninjas were fodder. What he doubted, such as when Tsunade became Hokage, was their ability to lead other ninjas and to put emotions to the side, right? That's what he was doubting. It was never their ability. So you could argue, again, still not right, but again, he was 12 years old. He basically had this presupposition that women just weren't fit to lead or be in high positions of power or be as capable as male shinobi due to their emotional nature, right? And that wasn't okay, I'll admit that. But again, he was 12 years old, and he was a nihilist in general. He doubted everything. He doubted his fucking self. So, again, this is just a lot of nitpicking. It's just very annoying to read these kind of things. I'm sure some of you can agree, and I'm sure some of you don't agree and think that he is a sexist, bigot asshole. Continue on. Shikamaru considers the Sasuke retrieval mission to be one of his biggest failures. Not only did they fail to bring back Sasuke, but almost everyone who went on the mission was heavily wounded. This is an instance where Shikamaru's sexist beliefs led to his downfall. When picking the members of the team, Shikamaru never considers any female ninja. Tsunade tells them that almost every other ninja in the village is busy. So he will have to choose Genin for the mission, but he doesn't choose any female ninja. Alright, so let's pick this apart. Sakura is a medical ninja, right? At this point, she's not even good at that yet. She's still training. What good would she do against one of the Sound Four? Answer that question for me, objectively. What good would she do one-on-one with one of the Sound Four? What good would she do? What about Ino? Would she do the mind transfer jutsu on her own one-on-one? Because that was the plan. That was the plan. Just think about it a little bit. What the fuck would they do? Would you pick Sakura over Neji? Or even over Choji, who has some offensive capabilities? Or Kiba, who is technically a two-man team if you count Akamaru? Come on, man, think about it. So that's why it led to his biggest downfall? You kidding me? That's a stretch, man. That's a stretch. Let's continue on. Ino was a member of his personal team and had experience fighting alongside Choji and Shikamaru. Yet she isn't even a candidate. Tenten is older than Shikamaru and has more experience than him. But she also isn't considered. Hinata has a Byakugan which could have assisted with scouting and information gathering. They had Neji, who is superior to Hinata, but isn't chosen either. Shikamaru flat out refuses Sakura's help even though she knows Sasuke was the smartest female ninja in her class. Alright, so before I move on to the next paragraph, I'll admit this. Tenten could have been considered. She was capable at that point, right? She was. But as I just stated, Hinata was inferior to Neji, who has the same abilities but better, and is better at using them. And let me get this straight, Ryan. You're seriously saying that Shikamaru should have accepted Sakura's help when she clearly has a deep emotional biases towards Sasuke? To the point where she even was willing to join him and leave with him to go with fucking evil ass Orochimaru. Right. So her resolve isn't there. She'll fucking join the guy before fighting him at that point. So why the fuck would Shikamaru accept Sakura's help? Is it because she's the smartest female ninja in her class? Do you think that's gonna fucking help when she does see Sasuke, if she even sees him? Because it would be more than likely that the fucking Sound 4, any of them, would fucking obliterate her. She wasn't useful, man. Think that through a little bit, Ryan. God damn, dude. Shikamaru chooses to go on this mission against unknown enemies short-handed because he doesn't believe that the women from this village would be beneficial. Although the female Genin aren't the strongest physical fighters, they still have plenty of other skills that would have been useful. The addition of extra ninjas would have changed the entire outcome of the mission. Maybe Shikamaru's friends wouldn't have come close. Maybe Shikamaru's friends wouldn't have come so close to death. Okay, I'll give you this, Ryan. If you are implying that he should have brought all the Genin, okay, more numbers would have been useful. If Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru could have been together, yeah, their chances would have increased. I'll give you that. But then, if you think about it rationally, maybe he was taking into consideration the possibility that they just couldn't handle the Sound 4, and he wanted some ninjas to stay behind, right? So his thought process was, I'm gonna bring the best shinobi that I can muster up and leave the rest back here, right, just in case we can't make it. It's that simple. So you trying to paint the narrative that he's this anti-feminist piece of shit is quite the stretch. But I'll give you that more numbers would have helped. I'll give you that. Continue on. When Tsunade is announced as the next Hokage, Shikamaru expresses his doubts. He doesn't believe that a woman can be fit to be Hokage. He thinks that women are too unpredictable and irrational to be effective leaders, although Tsunade quickly disapproves these sexist ideas during her time as Hokage. Tsunade easily sees the value in Shikamaru's intelligence and leadership skills. She makes him team captain during the Sasuke retrieval mission and many other future missions. Tsunade gives Shikamaru more responsibility than anyone else in the Konoha 12 because she knows that he can do the job. These missions and responsibilities allow Shikamaru to mature and grow as a ninja. Shikamaru would likely not be the ninja he is today if Tsunade had not placed her faith in him. Okay. You know what? I agree with this part. He was wrong about Tsunade. Right? She's one of the legendary Sani. He doubted her prematurely. He didn't even know about her, what she's capable of, or what she can bring to the table. Right? I'll give you that, Ryan. All jokes aside, I'll give you that. But I believe the whole point wasn't for Shikamaru to no longer be a bigot piece of shit. That wasn't the point. The point was for him to mature overall, in all aspects. Because he was a nihilist, he didn't care about anything. Things just didn't matter to him. So him almost failing, well, he did fail in the Sasuke retrieval mission because he didn't retrieve Sasuke, but him nearly losing the other Genin forced him to mature. The idea wasn't to remove his bigoted ideology. That wasn't the big idea here. The big idea was for him to mature and become a better leader. That was the point. And is Shikamaru a perfect character? Absolutely not. None of the characters are. None of them. So, again, I think, Ryan, you're just grasping at straws. If you want to be nitpicky, sure, he was a little sexist. He shouldn't have said he hates women. That's not okay. And he shouldn't have been so premature to count Tsunade out. That's not okay either. I admit that. But you're grasping at straws here, Ryan. Let's continue on. Shikamaru owes the lives of his friends to Tsunade as well. During the Sasuke retrieval mission, Choji and Neji are severely injured and on the brink of death. Rock Lee, Kiba, and Shikamaru are about to be killed by the enemy, and it's only because Tsunade decides to ask for help from the Sand Village that they survive. Tsunade's immense skills in medical ninjutsu is also the only reason that Choji and Neji survived their injuries. The woman who Shikamaru believed was unworthy of being Hokage both saves his comrades' lives and advances his own career. Thankfully, Shikamaru does seem to learn from these experiences and become a better person. After the time skip, he has a great deal of respect for Tsunade and trusts her decisions as a leader. He is confident in the skills and strengths of his female comrades. Shikamaru still thinks that women are troublesome, but he's married to Trimari, who keeps him in line. Okay, Ryan, at least you gave him some credit at the end. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Shikamaru still thinks that women are troublesome. No, he just gets annoyed just like any other human being does. Sakura is annoyed shitless when it comes to Naruto, but we don't bat an eye towards it. Alright, at least to that. She has a lot of problems herself. She's a simp. She tried to manipulate Naruto into believing that she loved him when in reality she was capping. Alright. I would love to see some articles on that, Ryan. How about we have this go both ways? Sakura has made a ton of mistakes. Tons. So, Ryan, if you would be so kind into making an article about her, I would really appreciate that. Because there's blame both ways. But overall, I would describe this article as an overreach and a grasping at straws to paint a narrative that is extremely irrelevant and outlandish for no apparent relevant reason. Alright. Now maybe Ryan's rationale will be like, well, this is an interesting topic, it'll get some clicks. Sure, Ryan. But I guarantee most people don't agree. Most people don't agree that Shikamaru was just a bigoted piece of shit with malicious intent. He was just a nihilist who didn't care about anything. And anything annoyed him. Everything annoyed him. Anything and everything annoyed this kid. That's what he was. So, simply put, this apparent sexism, which was there, I'll admit that, was just a simple gag reel. His whole persona was a gag reel. And I highly disagree that his sexism is the reason why the Sasuke retrieval mission went south. I highly, highly disagree. Highly. So overall, this article is a stretch. And yeah, I'll agree to this. He shouldn't have said he hates women. That's not okay. And he shouldn't have prematurely counted Tsunade out as being Hokage. Right? I disagree with that. He shouldn't have done that. But again, he was a fucking kid. He's a kid. He's a nihilist. He's lazy as fuck. But he's not this bigoted, anti-female piece of shit. That's not what he is. And that's what this article is attempting to do. At least from my observation. Paint him as some dickwad. Anti-female piece of shit. That's what it's trying to do. Not okay what he did, right? Not okay. Some of the things he said is not okay. Not okay, I agree. But he's not what this article is trying to portray him as. Power Naruto had a lot of gag reels. Lots of them. And if you're too sensitive to just take them for what they are, which is comedy, then simply don't watch it. Right? Simply don't watch it. Now I know what some people are going to say. Why read the article then? Use the same argument on me. Why are you reading this article if you don't like it? Well, simply put, I enjoy picking apart these outlandish articles. Because their purposes are clear. The purposes of these kind of articles are clear. It's to stir unnecessary controversy. It really is. Naruto is about shinobi fighting to protect their village. It's about Naruto Uzumaki, the underdog. Yet all you can extrapolate from that is Shikamaru's a sexist? That's all you can extrapolate from that entirely beautifully told story by Kishimoto. That's all you can extrapolate, huh? Shikamaru's greatest weakness because he's a sexist. Not because he was a young shinobi trying to learn how to be a leader. That's not why. But it's because he's sexist. Okay, man. Alright. This would have been much more interesting if the whole premise was Shikamaru's young, naive nature was the reason that he made a lot of mistakes and was the reason why Naruto and company almost died. That would have been much more interesting. But to only extrapolate sexism, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the reason I chose to react and expose the flaws and absurdity in this article is for one simple reason. It's to assert that comedy and gag reel moments and events in all sorts of media is important, folks. We can't be so sensitive. We can't be so sensitive as to such an extent that we ruin great pieces of pop culture, great pieces of anime, great pieces of media. It's absurd. Just because they say something you don't like, you're gonna automatically hate it and shame it and just shit on it? Whether it's a person, a show, a movie, whatever the fuck it is. That's absurd. That's absurd. Comedy has a purpose. It's a realm that allows people to lower their guards, to not take life as serious, etc. That's the whole purpose of comedy. To have a good time. So by trying to destroy comedy for what it is, and make it super clean and super anti-offensive, etc., you're ruining one of the only tools that humans have in modern day to just be themselves, not worry about what people think, not worry about offending people to such an extent that they react. That's the whole point of comedy. Laughing, right, is an important thing for all humans to do. Everyone should have a good laugh sometimes. So, this group in society, this woke culture, right, that is trying to destroy that, isn't helping. It's counterproductive. Tension is meant to be released. So by not allowing people to have a good time, laugh things off, joke about dumb shit, and not have malicious intent when doing so, by trying to stop that, you're essentially building more and more tension, and more problems will arise. You see on social media, folks, all the time. People on Twitter. You don't even see a civil discourse anymore. It's just automatically emotional investment, automatically ad hominem attacks, automatically this shit talking towards the individual. So the topic at hand, whatever it is not even talked about. There is no solution. All that's caused is more tension because one side or the other or both aren't willing to see other perspectives or aren't willing to take a fucking joke, quite honestly. It's really absurd. Sometimes we should even be able to laugh at ourselves, man. It's not that serious. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you. It's really not. That's my whole point of kind of nitpicking at this ridiculous article. Don't take things so serious, man. We have enough things to worry about, right? In our daily fucking lives. So, don't be watching shows or movies or anime and just being ridiculously offended and expending all this energy because you're offended at a little gag reel moment. It's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, man. Social media is a powerful thing. All I hope is that in the future, we can take things a little less seriously when people are just joking around. And this in particular, the only thing I disagree with him heavily doing is saying he hates women. That's not okay. Right? That's not okay. I'll admit to that. Maybe Kishimoto should have not done that. He probably wouldn't have done it in today's day and age. That was a different era when things could have been taken as a joke, unlike today. He shouldn't have said that. I agree. But it's all a joke, man, at the end of the day. There was no malice in it. There's no malicious intent involved. It's a fucking joke. So learn to joke around, folks. Learn to joke around. Learn to laugh a little. It's not that fucking serious. But yeah, folks, I think that's all I have to say about this. My last little rant is the real purpose for even reacting to this article. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Maybe you're not okay with joking around. Maybe your rationale would be, well, maybe it's better if no one gets offended. Maybe it's better if we just eliminate jokes in general. Okay, fair play to you if that's what you believe. But again, in my opinion, that just builds more and more tension. It makes everyone more tense. It makes everyone walk on eggshells. It makes everyone robotic and non-human. We're not perfect beings. So this idea of perfect, unoffensive atmosphere is delusional. That'll never happen. We're human beings, bro. It's a fucking joke. But yeah, I've ranted long enough, folks. So, shout out to Ryan Bridges. You have your opinion. You know what? I respect it, even though it's absurd. And folks, let me know your opinion and thoughts on this. I'm actually very interested. I'm sure there's going to be many from all sides of the spectrum. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know any other recommendations or any other things you want me to react to in the comment section below. And make sure to get this video to 25 likes, folks, if you want to see another dissection of something else. But yeah, folks, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay classy, folks.